All right, so this is the voice of Julian. I run demandcurve.com growth chaining. I also write TechCrunch's marketing column, and I wrote the Julian.com guide to growth marketing. And I used to run marketing at a company called Webflow. Today, the goal is to share a couple batches of insights on making high converting landing pages. And then after each batch of insights, we're going to do a quick Q&A. So specifically, I'm going to cover the writing and structuring of landing pages to maximize purchases or signups or whatever goal you're going for. Okay, so there's no video currently, but if we have time at the end, I'm going to share my screen and critique your guys' landing pages live. That'll be fun. I would like to start things off by busting a couple myths about landing pages. The first one is that you should have CTAs or calls to actions like button prompts for the visitor to take an action like sign up or purchase. The myth is that you should have these aggressively focused on in the above the fold section of your web page, in your hero section, and that you should get visitors to click it as quickly as possible. So yes, CTAs are critical, but they shouldn't be given so much focus that a visitor would click them before actually surpassing a threshold, understanding what you do and why they should care. So for example, this is how the visitor's journey often looks on your webpage. They land on your page, they click on your giant button in your hero that says sign up or see the product or take the demo or request a demo. Then they land on that respective page where they fill out their details for a demo or they enter their sign up details. But then they bounce, and that's where everybody sees in their Google Analytics there's like an 80% bounce rate or more, because the visitor doesn't actually feel compelled to see those actions through. So why not? Because they skip the part where they actually read at least half of your landing page to internalize all of your awesomeness. So you should rethink landing pages in the following way. If your landing pages are truly written well, you should want people to read them. You don't want to have them to scurry them away somewhere else. Because a visitor armed with knowledge of your value props is one who will convert way better after they click a button to take the next action. So specifically, I've seen sometimes twice better checkout conversion rates from just following 3 steps. 1, remove the hero CTA. Instead, just put it in your nav bar. So it's always there scrolling as the page scrolls, but don't make it the primary thing they're supposed to do immediately. Next, don't actually intersperse the CTA throughout your page's sections until you've reached 1 or 2 sections into the page. Let them read a little bit first. Then after that threshold, that's when I very aggressively start peppering in CTAs after every single section, and I'll conclude the whole landing page with a big CTA that sort of summarizes everything all over again. So that's the first myth, is that you got to just go hard on the CTA up front. That doesn't actually respect the user psychology. Second big myth is that long landing pages are bad. So we've actually consistently seen long landing pages outperform short ones, so long as every word on the long page is thoughtfully written. So understand that length isn't a bad thing unto itself, it's fluff that's bad. So if your page is long because it's full of redundant garbage, that's bad. But if it's long because you crammed in tons of useful factoids in a clean, structured way, that's often good. So specifically, the extra types of sections I like to include that bloat the page seemingly, but in effect improve conversion very often, are number 1, a detailed breakdown of specific uses for the product, and 2, a comparison grid of how the product compares to its competitors. And so those 2 extra sections will usually complement the usual sections you kind of always want to see, which are your hero section, your how it works section, your social proof, and a visualization of the product in action. Now, this is mostly applicable to like B2B SaaS, enterprise services. E-commerce is a different beast. You can get it like on an e-commerce homepage, you can get away with just showing your product and like a grid of all your different SKUs or something. Or just maybe men versus women if it's apparel. You don't have to follow half of this advice. But if you're not direct to consumer, sort of self-evident, broad e-commerce like clothing and supplements, then this advice is very applicable. And so as for what each of these sections should say, like the 5 I just mentioned, I actually just recommend going to julian.com, my site, clicking on the guide to growth marketing, and just read the landing pages section. It's phenomenally in depth and covers all this. And I'm trying to keep this webinar as like high level, rapid fire insights for you guys that I'm hoping you've never heard before. Okay, so with those 2 landing page myths out of the way, I think it sets a good stage for what I want to do next, which is I want to cover 2 to 4, depending on how much time we have, types of landing pages that I feel that I've seen everybody overlook. And I want you guys to implement them if it's relevant to your business. And so you're going to see what I mean in just a second. The first type of overlooked page on your website is what I've been calling the comparison landing page. And the second one is the retargeting landing page. And later we'll cover a couple more. So, and then as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to pause in just a little bit and we're going to do a Q&A. So let me just remind you guys, use the Q&A feature at the bottom of Zoom. Keep questions coming in because I am actually going to answer them, or Neil's going to answer them for you, my co-founder on the call. So please do keep them coming in. Neil, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I see a couple of people asking about the link to Julian's guide on landing pages. I've put that in the chat of this Zoom call. So if you just click chat at the bottom, you'll be able to see it.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to pause for Q&A after I give you guys a breakdown of what these 2 special landing pages are, which the purpose of these 2 pages is they drastically improve conversion when you're sending people from ads or SEO or elsewhere. Okay, so first, comparison landing page. So this is a page where you're comparing yourself against a competitor or multiple. So the whole page is dedicated to just this. But it's also padded with your normal pitch for your product. So people know what you are and understand your approach before they read the full comparison. So the reason we do this is the way we structure our ads and the way we structure our SEO campaigns. So specifically, I'll pair a comparison landing page with my comparison ads on Facebook, which are my ads that call out our competitors by name. And the way I do this is on Facebook allows you to target based on interests, and oftentimes those interests include products. So if I'm selling mattresses and Facebook lets me target people who are interested in Casper, the mattress company, then I will target those people with that interest, and I will in the ad say Casper versus Julian's Mattress Co. ? Here's why Julian's Mattress Co. is so much better. And then that leads to this comparison landing page. Segmenting out my ad, my targeting in that way, where I have like individual funnels for people based on their existing interests, drastically improves conversion. This is one of the highest leverage things I do for clients when I redo their Facebook or Instagram ads. So we're just going to focus on the landing page portion for this webinar though. So specifically, there's 2 big reasons you do this. One is when you compare yourself to a competitor, the visitor is able to anchor you against something they already know. So they instantly understand what your product generally does, which lets you skip wasting their time pitching the basics of your product category. And you can just immediately focus on the juicy details of why you're amazing. Just being able to do that alone improves conversion. The second thing is when you call out something that people already know and you say that you're better, people's curiosity gets piqued. They now want to know, why is the current solution they're using and trust and rely on actually bad or outdated? And you're promising to give them the answer. So as a result, ad click-through rates go up and time on landing page goes up with this type of approach very often. So the way I lay out these comparison landing pages is usually as a narrative. So think of splitting your landing page in 2 halves. One half is the journey of using your product to accomplish whatever the goal of your product is. And the other half is using the competitor's product to accomplish the same goal. But in your half, you show that the time and cost savings are greater and that ultimately their output or their outcome is greater for using your product, right? So I'd like to structure it as that narrative where they kind of scroll through the journey, the comparison journey. I found that to perform quite well. All right, the second special type of landing page, before we jump to Q&A, keep your questions coming in, is a retargeting landing page. So retargeting is when you show ads to people who've already been to your website. And this is in contrast to prospecting, which is when you show ads to people who haven't heard of you before. So the pages on your site that you send retargeted visitors to should be different than the pages you sent them to the first time around. Otherwise, you're just repeating yourself and expecting different results, which, as you guys may have heard, is to some the definition of insanity. So think of it this way. If your homepage didn't get visitors to convert the first time, why would you show them the same homepage again the second time? Instead, you got to ask yourself, what can you do differently with this second shot at bat, with this new page? And consider, if the visitor now already knows what you generally do because they've already been to your website at least once, your retargeting landing page can just focus again on the juicy specifics of how you're so useful and in which particular use case. So again, you get to skip the fluff. You cut right to the good stuff that always helps improve conversion. So specifically, I try to differentiate my retargeting landing page from my homepage by drastically switching up its layout and its content. So I'm pitching the same value props, but I'm pitching them, which, let me pause there. So value props, shorthand for value propositions. Sometimes you'll hear it as unique selling point. These are just distinct, appealing facets of your product that you're highlighting to get people interested. So in the retargeting landing page, I'm pitching the same value props, but I'm pitching them in different ways with different emphases. So maybe I'll use a structure like this for the retargeting landing page. First, maybe a few paragraphs telling a short blog style story about why our product is so awesome. Then maybe a giant bullet list of our awesome value props. Then maybe I'll end with a video that visualizes the product in action, going from A to Z. If it's clothing, you know, taking it out of the box, putting it on, looking good, it matching with the rest of my outfit. If it's a mattress, unboxing it, putting it down, having a better night's sleep, to show it in action from A to Z, visualize the benefit and the experience. And so again, short blog narrative, short like 3-paragraph blog-like story, quick rapid fire bullet list of awesome value props, and a video visualizing how this thing is great. And so notice how different that is from the normal homepage with all of its typical sections, how it works, social proof, hero section, all that stuff, right? And this is good because if a visitor returns and they see they're on a brand new page that's very different, they're going to read it more carefully because now they realize they're not being fed the same information they were being fed before. You have their attention. And then finally, I might end a retargeting specific landing page by offering a retargeting specific discount or other deal to get that time pressure going, which I'll usually echo in the ad itself. Okay, I'm gonna pause there. We're gonna do a quick Q&A, then we're gonna jump into more rapid fire insights and landing pages. And depending on if I have the time, I'm gonna end with critiquing your guys' landing pages, which I affectionately refer to as shitting on your guys' landing pages, which is always fun. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me just read these. How long should the landing page be exactly? I've seen some super long ones. So don't make it super long. So my sort of, my sound bite of longer isn't necessarily worse. There's definitely a limit. Let me pull up on a website for you guys right now to give you an exact example. Hold on. Let me find one that I think is a perfect length. Okay, I'll show you one that I think could be like 30% bigger and you can use it as a reference point. So Tovala, TOVALA.com. Maybe Neil, if you don't mind dropping that link in the chat. Again, Tovala, TOVALA.com. Make that about 30% longer. So add like 1 or 2 more sections and you've nailed a pretty good length. And that's for like your homepage. Your homepage, the reason why length is okay is you want to appeal to all types of people coming in. You don't know who they are. So have a little something for everyone, but every word matters. Don't add fluff. Make sure nothing is redundant. And if it gets very complicated, break it into subpages. So be like, hey, are you a man? Click here for men's apparel, right? Or are you a big enterprise? Click here for enterprise offerings. You're welcome to split it off. Okay, what else we got here? What's a good rule of thumb to assess market demand on a landing page? Interesting. So measure bounce rates or look at number of users who did the CTA. What's a good metric to aim for? Okay, so Google, no matter what vertical you're in, Google average landing page conversion rates by industry. You're going to see some really awesome charts that'll give you a reference point for whether you should be seeing half a percentage in terms of visit your homepage to then sign up or purchase, or maybe up to 5%. It differs per the type of good you're selling, the type of people you're selling to. So you want to have a realistic reference point so you don't think you're doing much worse than you really are. In terms of the metrics you should be monitoring for homepage performance, all that ever matters is money. So if you're getting people to enter their email, but you can't get that email address to convert into a purchase, it doesn't matter. So ultimately, you want to be very transaction focused, but if you're unable to push a transaction immediately based on the nature of your landing page or the nature of what you do, then take one step away from it, but not too big of a step. So getting someone to, like, measuring performance by how many people click to go to your blog, that's not a very good measure of performance. But maybe seeing how many people sign up for a sales call or demo, that's a better small step away from paying you. Another small, and if you don't offer that sort of intermediary demo or sign up experience sales call, take one more small step, grab their email, and that can be your current intermediary metric if that's what it has to be. And then make sure those emails actually lead to purchases. Have a very well thought through drip email campaign that offers sales collateral, brings them back to specific email landing pages to get them back to the point of purchase. There are lots of other things you could measure, like time on page. Doesn't really matter that much. And really the way you want to think about it is you want to segment performance on a per audience basis. And that's how you think about iterating on your landing page performance over time. So you want to think about men, how are they performing? Women, how are they performing? Big businesses, small businesses, whatever your segments are, separate those out and then measure their performance as you make tweaks to your landing page and try to A/B test those segments over time. If you just average and blend everything together, it becomes complete noise, and you don't know if you suddenly had a big burst of men that's reducing performance and vice versa. So you want to keep things segmented, and you want to segment toward the email capture, the demo, or the purchase. Let's see what else we got here. I'm just going to do a couple more, then we're back into the rapid fire insights. You don't have to retarget only people who spent a certain amount of time on the page. Retargeting is generally so cheap as a way of delivering ads to people that you can blast them to everyone who's ever been to your page and did not actually convert into a customer. You're welcome to blast them. And even if they bounce after a few seconds of visiting your landing page, that's also okay. You can still shoot them over to your retargeting page. Or if you want to be more granular about it, you can segment your retargeting ads and your retargeting landing pages based on how long the individual spent on your homepage at the first time. That is a feature of Facebook and Instagram ad targeting that is available to you. Okay, Chris asks, in your recommendation to not include a CTA button in the hero, does the same advice also apply to a sign-up form if you're placing it on your landing page? Do you recommend putting the landing page, the sign-up form, really any other way to capture someone's interest or intent further down the landing page? Great question. Yes, similar approach. Actually, there might be a distinction here, but I'll get to that in a moment, which is as long as a qualified individual is filling out your form, then that's actually fine if they do it right off the bat, because it sounds like you're going to be relying on your email process or sales process to nurture them and get them to purchase. In that case, maybe it's fine. But even then, and this is the caveat I want to point out again, is if they're going right for the form submission and you're hitting them with emails and stuff, they're not actually primed to care about your emails. They're gonna delete them instantly, right? Or they're not even gonna show up to your sales call. So you still want to allow people to internalize why you're amazing before they move to the next step. Examples of landing pages. Dang, I should have prepared a few good ones. Tavala, like I mentioned earlier, they're almost always good. I think demandcurve.com's is quite good. We work heavily on it. Focus less on the immediate homepage when it asks you who you are, like when we segment our visitors. Click on
Julian, we actually just changed that, so the homepage.
Shoot! Okay, I guess we just changed it this morning. I forgot. Never mind that. But anyway, check our homepage. You'll see how we do it. And at the end of the call, I'll find some more for you guys. I'm going to do maybe one or two more quick ones, then I'm going to move on. The typical structure for like hero, how it works, features, testimonials, how should you order all these sections? Go to julian.com, click on the growth marketing guide, read the page called landing pages. It breaks it down over like 3,000 words, super in depth. Or the demandcurve.com growth, which costs money. We also go pretty in depth on that. But the julian.com guide is totally free and we'll answer all those questions. Let's see. We build all of our landing pages using a tool called Webflow. Now, you don't have to use, I'm not saying Webflow is the best. It's what we do because it's super fast, crazy customizability. And we've been using it for tons of very, very large clients we work with. So highly recommend Webflow. I've also heard great things about Instapage and less good things, but still good things about Unbounce. And at the very bottom is WordPress because it's too much and too hard to customize. Actually, maybe at the very bottom is Squarespace. Okay, I'm going to move on to more rapid fire insights. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to answer a lot more. And if I don't answer them, Neil is going to answer them for you in text form. All right, one sec. Let me pull open my notes. Okay, actually, just to give you guys some housekeeping bits here, I'm going to do some more rapid fire insights, another quick batch Q&A. Then I might critique a bunch of landing pages for fun, and then maybe final quick Q&A. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. Okay. Batch of insights number 2. So I'm going to cover 2 more special types of landing pages that I never see clients do, but I feel they should in many circumstances. And again, this is under the same objective of giving you guys this better segmented pages on your website that can hopefully significantly improve conversion no matter where people are coming from. Okay, first example, or rather this is the third type of special landing page, is the referral landing page. So when your users invite other users, think about tailoring the landing pages sent to the person being referred, right? Don't just send them directly to your homepage because that's forsaking a pretty big opportunity for customization. Instead, identify which of the value props that would be most appealing to the person being invited, then highlight those for them on a custom landing page. And you could output these programmatically if you have an engineer. So the question basically becomes like, how do you know what the person being invited most wants to hear about in your product? And there's a really clever trick you can do here. You just ask the person doing the inviting for details on the person they're inviting, right? So if the person that is inviting others, as they're inviting somebody, they can just fill a little survey that says, this is the person's role at their company, or this is the type of company that person works at. Or maybe if you're selling consumer products, maybe you're asking the person doing the inviting for what are your friends' interests? How tall are they if it's apparel? What's their clothing style or whatever else? So here's an example. Imagine you were sent a link from a friend who uses something they absolutely love and they want you to use it also. Now imagine you've landed on a landing page for that product they love and the landing page is customized for you so that the product feels like it was made for you. That is really powerful. Because now that page is saying, hey, we know you like turtles and we know you have 3 arms. Like, whoa, I like turtles and I have 3 arms. This has got to be for me. So that's going to resonate a lot better than some generic homepage where it feels like your friend's dumping you onto some homepage. So one more example to make this a little more relevant and get away from the turtles and 3 arms. So here's another way to think about referral landing page customization. You can show off the value that your friend doing the inviting gets from using the product. This is one of the key sort of tenets of psychological or copy that is written, keeping in mind the psychological gimmicks that get people to convert. So imagine you arrive on a page with a header that says, John, your friend who referred you, he uses our product X times per week to accomplish goal Y. As a result, he saves Z hours or Z dollars using this product. So now you see why this product is so amazing to your friend, because the landing page is visualizing the exact specific value your friend gets from it, and now it resonates with you, and you're way more likely to convert. So if your friends save $5,000 by switching their company to the SaaS app, I want to say by switching to Geico. Anyway, then like, that's very, very compelling. So as to how to pull off this customization, you're gonna need engineers to do it. If you're like a one-woman shop putting together some SMB page, it's not gonna happen. I don't know plugins that do this, but engineers can put this together very, very quickly. This is not hard to do. So quick wrap up on this special landing page type before we get to another one. You can programmatically generate customized landing pages for the people being referred to your product, which means do not lazily rely on your homepage, your generic homepage that everyone gets to take them from awareness to conversion with maximum performance, right? Instead, you need to leverage the fact that the person doing the inviting actually knows the person they're inviting, because that is a powerful psychological opportunity. So, okay, one more. This is the last special type of landing page to consider making, the press article landing page. And quick reminder, Q&A questions, keep them coming in. And even if they're from things from past topics, I'm happy to answer them in a moment. Okay, so first off, warning, I'm not a lawyer. I do not claim I know all the legalities of this, so go talk to a real lawyer, please. But I can tell you this technique works pretty well. So whenever you get covered by, say, Business Insider or some other press outlet, and you want to leverage that press as social proof in your ads or wherever you're pushing this, don't run your ad traffic directly to the Business Insider blog post, because you want that traffic to come directly to your site. That puts you in the better position to actually convert users and to pixel track them for future ad targeting and for data collection. And one more example is, like, worst of all, like the third-party article on Business Insider, they might not even link back to your site at all. This happens a lot. So the solution is you copy-paste that Business Insider article into a landing page of your own. This is the name I gave it, press article landing page, or press landing page. So you create a dedicated article or a landing page for that article, and you embed the article inside the page. Then you add your own intro on top of the article where you properly cite the source. You say this was originally posted on Business Insider, and then you link back to that original source, right? You got to give them their due credit. Don't claim the copyright on it. And then you slightly tweak the post. This is the clever part, so that every mention of your company's name in the post is actually a text link back to your product pages. So get them moving through your funnel. And then you also surround the top and bottom of that post with very compelling calls to action, or CTAs, pitching your product. So for one, this is going to significantly improve conversion after reading this post. But the other benefit, like I mentioned, is when people get to your site, you can pixel them with any of the ad networks, you can retarget them, you can monitor their behavior, which are things you forsake when you link them off-site. So the parallel here is, even if you're not running ads at all, but on your homepage, you link to all of this press that you have, maybe instead of linking off-site, don't let the user distract themselves by going elsewhere and never coming back because they see another ad on Business Insider for a pony or something. Don't let the ponies distract people. Keep them in your controlled environment and link always to these press landing pages. Again, not a lawyer. Go talk to a lawyer if you want. Okay, we're going to do a quick Q&A. Then we're going to critique landing pages. Let's see what we got here. Cool, everybody's still here. That's nice to see. I guess I'm not too boring. I'm going to pop open some Q&As. Yep. Okay, let's take a look here. Hopefully Neil's still answering your guys' questions. And also note, if I mention anything, Neil, do you want me to share the things you're DMing me, Neil? Right? Do you want me to go through those? Great landing pages for everybody listening? Yeah, those were just ones that people had submitted to be critiqued. It was to clean up the Q&A. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to critique your guys' pages soon. For now, I'm going to just read questions. Matt Voska asked a good question. I feel like, I'm quoting Matt here. So I feel like all these segmented landing pages can get overwhelming to manage. What do you use to manage and list all of these pages? So the way I generally think about growth and spending my time on anything is, what's the highest leverage thing to build? So I'm not actually going to segment 1 million landing pages like the way I'm talking with you guys today. I'm going to choose 2 I'm going to invest several hours into making 2 that I think, based on my audience, my product, my value propositions, is going to resonate the most strongly. And then I'm going to test them and then spin up new ones thereafter if those bombed, right? Or just to iterate on the performance. So if I had to say, Matt, what should you guys absolutely start with? What is the 80-20 of the landing pages you need beyond your homepage? Number 1, retargeting landing page always. You got to have that for the reasons I mentioned. Number 2, I would say a competitor comparison page. And if you don't have clear-cut competitors, if you're not a mattress company and you're not competing with a Casper, your competitor can also be the alternative implementation, right? So if you're selling a good, like if you're selling the car, if you're Henry Ford selling the car, and everyone's currently using horses, you can just pitch yourself against horses. That's fine as well. Okay, it's a great question. Can you give examples of press posts? I don't have any offhand, but it's pretty self-evident. So give it a whirl. It's hard to go wrong. Do you design landing pages differently if optimized for mobile? Yeah, so I actually do mobile first always. So because most traffic usually from ads these days that I find in my campaigns is mobile, and because mobile does also tend to convert better than desktop, again, in the campaigns I've been running lately, I will actually start by designing the page for mobile, and then I'll sort of just hack together something passable for desktop. And only when I prove mobile works and then I have that nailed down will I then finesse the desktop version, so I don't waste my time over optimizing stuff that doesn't matter. So specifically when I'm optimizing for mobile, I'm reducing how much I have to scroll. I'm aggressively deleting all fluff, all filler words. I'm rewording every sentence to be just tighter, more succinct. I'm not taking up too much space with CTAs every 3 seconds. Instead, I'm keeping the CTA hovering in the nav bar, maybe in the footer, and getting it out of the body so that just as you're scrolling through, you're getting nothing but high quality or high percentage of quality content. I skip the crap. Like if I normally have 30 logos on my desktop, I'm only going to have 3 maybe client logos on my mobile page, and then have a button that says click to see more. Like I start collapsing things that don't need to be there because they're redundant, right? There's a lot more to it, but I'm going to pause there. How do I come up with ideas for copy, structure, graphics, and landing pages? Read the Julian.com growth guide. Do you recommend closed landing pages, the pages that don't allow users to leave unless they hit the back button? This is a great question. So I think they're usually called squeeze pages, where you land on a page and there's like no nav bar, right? Just a progress bar, so you're kind of stuck. Yes, they do work. And the reason people use them is because they work. People know they work because people A/B test. What happens if I do have the nav bar? And what happens if I don't? And marketers often see with the nav bar removed, conversion's better. So that's why you see anything that you see persist for a long time on high performance websites, like big companies that crushed at growth, they're testing that and it probably works. So it is smart to do. You don't want to be too much of a copycat generally, but certain things, that is one of them. And in your case, just test it. Figure out, is that a bad thing because your users actually really want a taste of your other parts of your website because the squeeze page is too limiting? Then, and is that why they're not converting? Then just A/B test with or without the nav bar and let users decide. Let data decide. So before they never spend too much time trying to nitpick small decisions like whether or not there's a nav bar. Just choose one, A/B test, let the data tell you what's right. 1 second, there we go. Press landing page. You also include a press kit. No, because the purpose of the press landing pages is not for press people to read it. It's for your users to read it and say, wow, they got press coverage and the press coverage was glowing, right? The press kit is more like bury that somewhere in your footer. That's for like 1 people out of 1 million per year that actually wants to use your press kit. It's a good question. Hold on. I'm going to do a few more, then we're going to get to critiquing all your guys' landing, well, not all of them, but some of your guys' landing pages. This is a good question. Yug, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. If not, you can phonetically spell it for me later. Can you request the outlet who's covering you to include links back to your website? How often is this request honored or ignored? I like this question a lot. You can, but usually you don't want to push your luck when dealing with press. You don't want to like start dictating anything. Journalists don't respond well, and usually they're doing you a big favor to begin with. So it's usually just up to them, and usually they just forget or don't care. They'll link it once, but then it's like a 2,000-page article and link it once up top. People get to the bottom, they never even see your your link again, and they forget to click through and get bored and they bounce. So that's the danger you're defending against. Robert asks, can you please talk more about how to make retargeting landing pages? Yes, in another webinar. Minimum number of visits needed to effectively A/B test anything on a landing page. Incredibly good and incredibly important question. The answer to that is on the Julian.com growth guide. Click on the A/B testing page and it gives you a full breakdown of how many visitors you need to substantiate various tests. Very, very important question. What else we got here? How do you get enough traffic to A/B test effectively? I use ads. That's why I talk about ads so much. That's how I power my A/B test to get those sample sizes. So when I'm testing a big new web page launch, I'm going to put aside a few $100 budget and drive people from Facebook, Instagram, Quora, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, wherever, right? LinkedIn. Actually, don't use LinkedIn. And get them to my landing page. A few more. Do you value user interviews as a way of validating landing pages? Not really. I value it for product stuff, product roadmap, but user interviews in a landing page, it can be very anecdotal and you can fall prey to random data points. So usually what I'll do is I'll just in aggregate collect the data and then look at the trends using a tool like hotjar.com, assess how far do people get into the web page, what are they clicking on, and I'll usually do surveys more so for what are the types of audiences, personas, and value props that resonate best with people. That's what I will often use surveys for. Then I'll let those learnings trickle down into the landing page. So yes, I survey users to inform landing page copy, but there's like an intermediary step first. I don't usually say, how do you like my landing page? Because usually their answers are a bunch of garbage and they don't really know what they're saying. Instead, I'll ask, what do you fundamentally care most about in my product? And then I'll listen for what they're really trying to say, and then I'll distill that into landing page updates. Why not use LinkedIn? It's more of a conversation for the social ads webinar and the B2B outreach webinar, both of which I did last week, which at some point I can email you guys links for, assuming you guys all went to demandcurve.com/webinars and actually put your email in, then you will actually get recordings. Long story short, LinkedIn ads perform very, very poorly and they're phenomenally expensive. Okay, I'm going to plow through a few more. Okay, have you seen any value in Outbrain/Taboola ads? Yes and no. It usually doesn't work, but when it works, it's like evergreen. It's like, well, if you can find a way to make it work, which is, in my experience, rare, it's going to be a great channel that's always going to work and can sometimes scale to really high amounts of traffic. So it's like a nice extra resource on top of your existing acquisition channels. But it's hard to make it work. And you usually waste a lot of money trying to get, like thousands of dollars trying to get it work for a whole bunch of reasons irrelevant to this current webinar. But I would say if you have the budget, if you're not really short on cash, try Taboola and webinar and talk to the account managers and see if they think you're a good fit. Is there going to be a webinar on Google Ads? Probably. I'd be crazy not to, so I'll probably will do one. What are the best analytics tools to track on-site behavior? Great question. I use Google Optimize for A/B testing. Google Analytics for assessing everything else, except for Hotjar, for which I use to assess screen recordings. So how do people really use the website, and scroll maps. I forget, the combo of words is escaping me, but you get the point. Like depth scroll maps, heat maps, there you go. And so that shows me how far into a page people get before bouncing what they click on. Super valuable. So Hotjar plus Google Optimize plus Google Analytics. Google Optimize Analytics are free. Hotjar is not very expensive. Are those, so Dr. Anonymous Attendee asks, are heat maps and scroll maps actually useful for page optimization? Heck yes. Heat maps, not so much. Recordings are critical to how I optimize a landing page, which maybe I'll get to in the end if I have time. Thanks, Julian. My pleasure, Suhas. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Will you do a webinar on pre-launch MVP stage? Awesome question. I would love to, Alexandra. Consider it done at some point. Yes, recordings should be made available later, but they get emailed to you. So demandcurve.com/webinars. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more questions. So you can stop with the questions for now. Then I'm going to jump to landing page critiques. See what we got here. Should you internationalize your site? I'm not going to answer that on this webinar. Any rule of thumb to include links to other pages in the nav bar of your primary page? Yes, absolutely. You want people to be able to self-identify in the nav bar who they are. So if they're enterprise, if they are SMB, if they're an individual, or if they're a man or woman, whatever the segmentations of your audiences are, it is absolutely good practice to have those listed out in your nav bar and bring them to persona segmented landing pages. 100% tends to improve conversion. Let people get past all the fluff. Let them choose their own adventure. Think of it that way, right? Why squeeze everybody through the same experience? And now I shall share my screen. Share Google Chrome. Optimize. Okay, hopefully no embarrassing things pop up, people. All right, Neil, what can you see right now?
I see the Busy Bee page.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, friends. Let's see what we got here. Busy Bee helps you message the businesses you need. Send messages to local businesses and contractors. Get quotes and book appointments quickly without using your telephone voice. Okay, so this is confusing. I don't know what a message means. Is that a voice message? Is this a text message? Is this like an email? Unclear. And why am I doing this? Who is this for? What is the problem being solved? What's like the most proximate, like what's the root cause being solved, right? You're giving me the proximate thing you're solving, which is you're going to make it easy for me to send messages. To who and why? I don't understand. So that's a problem with copywriting in your hero section, to be specific. Otherwise, so far the design's quite pretty. Let's keep going down. I like that you signify or you signal, you flag that it's a mobile app, and you show the mobile app is clean and modern. That's great. Over 1 million businesses, over 1 million great businesses in the US, Canada, and Mexico are available to respond to messages. Why are they responding to messages, and why do I care that they are? I mean, I can intuit what you're saying, but it's not self-evident. So like here where you have a square that says Madison Square Dentistry, this is your opportunity to provide a specific example of the type of message you would actually send them and why I would care. So for example, hey, real quick, can I reschedule my appointment to Tuesday at 3 p.m.? And then you can even show, this guy responding, absolutely no problem, Julian, you're one of our favorite customers, or whatever, right? So now you're visualizing the value as opposed to kind of keeping it very high level. Keep scrolling here, multi-send support. Send the same message to multiple businesses at once to quickly compare quotes. Okay, that is an amazing feature, but you have the copy in the reverse order. Multi-send support is completely meaningless and makes no sense to me. What you want to do with your header is you want to say, quickly compare quotes. That's the value prop that people care about. That's the objective. And then underneath quickly compare quotes, that's the thing that's going to catch my eye now. It's like, oh wait, I can actually get a cheaper deal on my house cleaning. Then you explain multi-send support. So that is a problem with the prioritization of copy in your header and body, right? And think of it this way. I'm scrolling a landing page. You hear my back sticking to the chair. I'm scrolling through a landing page to quickly skim for headers that say interesting things that I can relate to. That's the psychological framework you want to use to write your headers. Works with your favorite messenger. Great value prop. It's a nice way to combat the skepticism of, hey, I'm a WhatsApp user. I'm a, Line user. I'm a Messenger user. So that's very good. Very good value prop. Receive messages through your default. Great. Get the point. Fast and minimal. It stays out of your way enough to get stuff done. That is crazy generic and meaningless, right? So like, okay, what do I do with this? It's fast and minimal. I need specifics, but more importantly, the value prop's uninteresting. I don't not use mobile apps because I'm afraid they're not fast and minimal. I use them because I think they're useless. So this is a space that's wasting the reader's time and causing them to sort of clue out and get into like sort of skim mode. So I would replace this with something more meaningful. By the way, I completely aware I'm being an ass right now. This is kind of on purpose. I'm trying to exacerbate the criticism to turn all of these things into lessons for everybody. Okay, overall, the product looks incredible. I would use this. Key learnings is your hero should be specific and explain why the thing matters. Number two, when you're breaking down like specific use cases like this, specifically incept me with actual how this is going to improve my life specifically. What is the event I'm going to use the app for? Be highly specific. When you're writing sections, put the thing that I actually care about as the header, the thing that's going to be the scroll stopper that gets me to read more. And I'll pause there. Amazing app. These are quick fixes to make if you want help doing it. Julian.com landing page guides, completely free, super in-depth. And obviously this is what we teach very in-depth at demandcurve.com. Actually, I'll do a quick pitch there. So if the reason I'm doing this webinar is to show you guys what it's like to basically learn various aspects of growth from people who do it every day for a lot of companies. So that's the point of demandcurve.com growth training. We teach individuals and companies landing pages, ads, referrals, B2B outreach, content marketing, everything we can to a very high level of competency. All right, next. Let me just skim through a few and see if any really strike me. I'm gonna go quicker for the other ones. This is literally a type form, so I'm not going through that. Okay, let's see what this is. Use session. Session makes booking better. Booking what? The word is out. Photographers are switching to session. Why? Our unique flow helps them book more clients in less time without all the emails and busy work. Okay, so the problem with the header is you're not telling me who this is for. You're just telling me the problem. So it should be like, hey, photographers, period. We make session 10 times, we make booking your sessions 10 times quicker. Ah, now I get it. Because otherwise you're making me read like 2 sentences and 3 sentences to get who the audience is. So it should always be immediately self-evident what it is you do and who you're pitching to. But you're actually doing a pretty damn good job. You're calling it out pretty quickly thereafter. So overall, this is decent. And I completely understand the product. So let's keep learning more. Manage mini sessions and single sessions, book clients, get contracts signed, and get paid all in one place. Okay, it's a little bit of a mouthful, but to photographers, it's going to make a lot of sense, so it's fine. Quick grid of the specific sort of product features. This is way too many. Focus, like, remove the stuff that's obvious. Like, obviously, it's going to be digital contracts. How else is it going to be done? It's an online tool. Obviously, there's going to be online booking. That's inherent to the whole pitch of the product. Inquiries, I mean, come on, like, that's the nature of the product, right? So remove the stuff that you just have there that takes up space and lets you actually fill out your dream of having a 5x2 grid, and just focus on the items that fundamentally go, wow, they have that feature? Damn, that's cool. I got to try this product, right? So the less you have, the more that remains gets focused on, the more it pops, the more people can actually mentally chew on it and care about it. A game changer. Session does booking like no other software I've ever used. I like that. I like that you're using the social proof of your Instagram following, and it's a nice video. Awesome. This is very well done. I'm kind of skimming over why, because I don't want to spend as much time as I have been. A beautiful and unique way to book clients. Great, you're visualizing the product. This is one of my favorite things to do for any sort of SaaS app. Let session help you get to the part of your business you love the most, capturing the moment. That's a bunch of fluff. You could remove that, replace that with something meaningful, specifically describe something really powerful about your product. Like aspirational messaging where it's like, hey, you're going to be a better you when you use our product. You know, leave that to Coke and Pepsi. For landing pages, you don't have time to go into fluff territory. Use specifics, point out pain problems, twist the knife, make them feel the pain, and explain why you're better. But overall, so far, landing page is very, very good. Visualizing the product is always very high leverage. People love that, and it makes them want to dive into the actual dashboard, right? You should change the prompt here on the button to match what you're actually visualizing in context. So like this button would be, see the dashboard for yourself, right? Or dive into the dashboard. Start a 14-day trial is it's not, you know, it's too much of a departure from the visual imagery you've paired with the prompt. The only platform designed to streamline the way you book mini sessions. Unique workflow. I like that. It's a unique value prop, and it compares you against competitors, which presumably do not let you book mini sessions seamlessly. Yeah. Is this a real-time simulator? Okay, this is brilliant. Whoever did this, you're a genius. An interactive simulator demonstrating the material value you get from the product. Beautiful. Beautiful. Kind words from our customers, cool. I'd probably put some photography here, especially if you're a site for photographers, but you know that. Start booking today, cool, cool. Latest blog posts. I've definitely seen these unsplash images before, haven't I? Okay, great job. And yeah, great job. Let's do another one. Okay, what do we got next? Ask Questy. Need help with your website. Get support from expert. Whoa, someone here is being clever and is leveraging this webinar to get some free publicity. And props to you for it. So I'm going to give it to you. Need help with your website. Get support from experts on demand. Most answers only cost $5 to $50. Brilliant. Here's why I like this so much. Super clear. And he's visualizing what type of a website problem might you face in the visual to the right. Oh, this is a Shopify thing. Or maybe it's like this is obviously Shopify. So that's very interesting. I'm getting an idea of whether I'm the right customer. Also, he tells me or she tells me the price point immediately, which is probably preemptively addresses his or her most common skepticism or objection, which is, I can't afford this. So you're basically orienting this product as, no, this is for the everyday person, right? So I'm getting a lot of smart clues here in so little copy. So far, very well done. Let's keep going. Quality support a few clicks away. We support Shopify, WordPress, and Squarespace. I would probably put the logos of those three platforms earlier in the hero, just so people don't think it's only for Shopify, because it's the only logo you have up top. Never let people rule themselves out because you failed to be broad in showing your support, right? Get a transparent estimate, know it'll cost, answer. Okay, so the big problem here is what type of questions am I asking? So I don't care about the fact that it's transparent with the estimates and there's a guarantee. These are generic things. These are generic value props. What I care about is why would I use this specifically? This goes back to my critique of the first landing page we went through. Give me like 5 or 6 specific use cases of things I need help with every day that your product's gonna help with. That should be your second section. Not in all cases, but at least for this company. Like, I don't know. You want to install a new Shopify plugin really badly. Your Shopify, when customers check out, they're not getting the automated emails, and you're losing money because of it. We're going to help you with that, and on and on and on. Now you're letting people see the pain points they commonly experience in your copy, and you're saying, relax, we got this for you. When I'm reading this, I'm just bored. So, and also this image looks kind of cheap and generic. And if you're going to put an image in a, if you're going to put an image on your site, make it big enough for me to actually be able to tell what the image is. It's so tiny, it's kind of just wasted space. Like, get rid of the surrounding Mac Chrome there and just blow it up and show me the breakdown of the developer console in Chrome or whatever. All right, help from all directions. Whatever you need help with, there's a good chance we can do it. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is a bit more broad, but that's totally fine. This is good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the order of operations here is a bit wacky. Like this, what's supported should come real quick. Let people know they're actually going to be supported, so they're not reading all this for nothing. They don't bounce because they think you don't support them. Then maybe talk about the specific ways you help. Then maybe do help from all directions, where these are the more broad level categories. Get help 3 ways. These are 3 ways your service actually materializes for the user. You get recorded tutorials, live screen shares, direct access. So, like, compare them. Why would I want one versus the other? Explain. People don't actually click your links. No one's going to click learn. Like, very few people are going to click learn more. People just scroll, and then leave. And then you got to hit them again with retargeting and pray they come back. That's usually how these things play out. So give them the goods up front. Don't bury the secret sauce. Compare these things if it's meaningful to the way people make a purchasing decision from your product. Incredible talent at fraction of the cost. Top quality experts to solve. Okay, all right, so expertise. Things I never actually assumed you guys weren't experts. But so I think you properly putting this at the very bottom, because it's one of my lesser concerns. So this is a good place to bury this. These people do look pretty young though. I don't know if that's the vibe you want to give off. We'll connect you to a teenager sort of thing, but maybe that's how you are able to get the very low pricing, and that's maybe the clever positioning of Questy, right? That's pretty cool. Maybe call that out though, because it's a little bit weird how young they look. Maybe that's just me, that's my opinion. By the way, you guys are welcome to blast. Actually, this will make my job harder, and it's fine. If you guys have additional commentary of your own for the person who made the website I'm criticizing, you're welcome to leave it in the Q&A section, or sorry, not the Q&A, the chat section of Zoom, so they can also get your thoughts too. And you can disagree with the things I'm saying, just dive in, be helpful to them. Our reviews speak for themselves. Cool. Okay, let's move on. This is overall pretty darn good. Well done. Open phone. Okay, so far this is by far the most gorgeous landing page. Google Voice alternative. Brilliant. I immediately understand what this product is because it's being compared to an alternative that I'm familiar with. Open phone versus, because this is specifically a competitor comparison landing page that Open Phone is doing as per my recommendations. Beautiful. Okay, so let's just critique this as, at face value, let's critique it as a competitor comparison landing page. So far, great. Google Voice is a consumer product. Open Phone is built specifically for growing businesses. Damn, you just slapped them in the face. Well done. All right, I get why Open Phone is the legit enterprise play. Google Voice is for children. All right, try for free, awesome. Low commitment sign up. Visualization, high def of what the app experience is like. The problem with this landing page is I have no idea what Open Phone specifically is. Like, okay, you're in the same space as Google Voice, but what actually do you do? Don't make the assumption that people remember what you do. At least have a sentence that's something like, let's find out. Based on the feature grid, they offer toll-free numbers and allow you to assign multiple numbers to one phone number. Okay, so it's like virtual phone number support. So you make a phone number and you give that out, and that routes to your phone call, and you can round robin amongst your team and things like that, right? So explain that up front. Don't make me dig for it. Are these clickable? My thing with these logos is people always know they're BS unless you can click them and they actually bring you to proof that you were in fact covered in NBC. And you don't even explain like what exactly these logos are anchored to. Then I know it's BS. Like, are you saying you were covered by these places, or they reviewed you? What's the deal with these, right? Number one business phone app in the App Store. Great social proof right off the bat. You're saying we are the best. That works. I wouldn't jump right to this. Actually, I would, because it's a competitor comparison landing page. You're saying you're the best, so you're saying, look, we are ranked the best. Okay, brilliant. Good call. That should be the next thing. Next, the comparison grid. Beautiful. See why entrepreneurs choose open phone for the business. That's a bunch of fluff. We get the point. Turn this into something more specific. Figure out another value prop. Twist the knife about why Google Voice is not good for this particular use case. Okay, all the things you do that Google Voice doesn't. Brilliant. Just make sure these are things your users actually care about, or your prospects actually care about. Survey them. Ask them what they care about. Distill that into this matrix. Don't guess. And the things they care, they tell you they care most about, put those first, right? Okay. Customer support. This is confusing. Google Voice doesn't provide any customer support on your, okay, this whole section is very confusing. I don't know if you're saying you provide me customer support. What you're actually saying is this is a value prop of Open Phone that you provide good customer support. I thought this was like contact us for support. So maybe just make this more specific, like better support than Google Voice because we care and we actually care. That'd be a real slap in the face, but you can go there if you want. Or maybe just like dedicated support for your business or something, period, which you don't get from Google Voice, period. Woo, slap in the face. Business, okay, be more specific. It still is very confusing. Say, you can set your business hours, period. Then I understand what this header means. Google Voice, okay, you get the point. Cool features, beautifully displayed. Goes a long way for people who like to see that the app they're considering using is built by professionals, not teenagers, who take attention to detail into consideration. Caller ID for incoming calls with Google Voice, you sometimes can't. Okay. Rapid fire, concise comparison, bullet points, beautiful. Repeating the CTA after each section, fantastic. Okay, some more social proof, multiple phone numbers in one app. Okay, this is very good. There's nothing wrong here. It's at a nice length with enough sections that everyone who's curious can find the value prop they care about. And it's got a lot of social proof embedded. By the end, I really do think you guys are number one. I would probably end again with the #1 business phone app in the App Store, because that is by far the most compelling piece of social proof. I don't care that Jimmy from Ohio says you're cool. I care that the masses validate you're legit. So maybe end the landing page with that repetition to just cement that epic social proof. Also, you're using the phrase try for free in every single button. Switch it up. Maybe try for free to start, to signify that you're free. But then here, maybe something like see inside the app. That's interesting. That's different. Maybe if try for free didn't catch my interest the first time, maybe a different way of wording the button will catch my interest. You have multiple shots at bat. Take them, right? Okay. Odyssey, discover and share podcasts you love with the community of podcast lovers. Okay, doesn't seem very enticing to me, but it is very specific and clear. Yes, sign me up. Well, there's like 3 CTAs here. That's kind of confusing. So what's the difference between clicking this and clicking this? Don't give me, choice paralysis, choice anxiety here. Just give me one direction. Build your podcast personality. It's a weird way to phrase something. It's not clear what you're talking about. So maybe take this sentence that is more clear, share your favorite podcasts with others, or maybe build up your podcast interest profile. That's really bad, but you get the point. Make it more clear what that means. Also, is that really the most appealing value prop to start your whole page off? You usually want to find the most compelling value props and put them first, because if you order from most to least interesting, you build up goodwill to top the page, so they keep scrolling to read them more, and they put up more with the less interesting value props further down. Discover new podcasts from friends. That seems more interesting, right? I want to discover awesome podcasts from people I love and trust. That might be the #1, in my opinion. Recommend and discuss your favorites. Okay, discussion. Create curated playlists. Okay. Okay, so featured community curated playlists. That is the first hook I'm seeing here that gets me interested. If you redid this landing page and said, hey, here are the best playlists of podcasts you've never heard of and have to be listening to, I'd be like, whoa, shit, put down the phone. I am a podcast fan. Let me consume podcasts. Now you're actually interfacing with me at a level I care about. I don't care about sharing my podcasts with friends or talking about podcasts with friends. I'm greedy and I want dope podcasts to enjoy, so give them to me. So maybe start with this, depending on who your target audience is. And because this is cool. I also like the idea of start curating. That's a really powerful, smart prompt. It's how Twitter had such great onboarding performance. It's like when you join Twitter, you curate all the people you want to follow, and you build this interest graph, right? And they recommend more and more people. And it's a fun, addictive game to curate who you follow. So maybe you can start with that game mechanic. That would be brilliant. Keep track of what you listen to. Is that really an interesting value prop? So like, hey, have a history. Like that's one of the least interesting things you could possibly put as a value prop, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not really mentally resonating with the average podcast listener, but okay. So I would strip down to value props that matter most. I would probably flip the order and start with the things that the average person cares about to validate whether you found the right order. A/B test one order from one that is distinctly different from the other, or run surveys, find out what people care about, and use that to order. Again, I'm so sorry for shitting on this product. I'm just giving you my honest reactions. There's probably a ton of people listening who are like, you kidding me, Julian? This thing's amazing. I love this. Teach their own. I'm just giving you my honest reaction, which should be pretty helpful because you're getting the reaction of someone who's not very interested, right? Which means now you can learn how to protect against the worst case visitor, someone like myself, and how to get even the worst case visitor interested. And I just told you the solution. You can get me very interested by starting with appealing to my greediness to want to find and do awesome discovery and curate. And if you do that, maybe you'll appeal to absolutely everybody. That'd be pretty cool, right? All right, we're gonna do e-commerce. Let me first see the chat here. All right, the performance shirt. Effortlessly stylish, delightfully comfortable. Okay, first things first, photography, super professional. Shirt does look nice. So this looks professional and is matching the aesthetics that I would expect from a product that is positioning itself as a premium offering. Performance shirt, I guess most people know what that means, right? They know it means like, you're sweating, you're on the run, blah, 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 so that's fine. Effortlessly stylish, delightfully comfortable. Okay. So the two value props are stylish, comfort. They're both totally fine value props. I guess this is good, but I'm not in love. I'm not going, I gotta keep scrolling. So my opinion, I have nothing bad to point out other than I'm gonna challenge you to do better. What is the most interesting, unique, comparative point about your product you can show off right now, right? Tell me something crazy. Or just change the product photo to one so amazing I want to keep scrolling to see more of the product. This doesn't make me want to see more of the product per se. It just looks professional. It's good. But if you showed like a few variations and some were gorgeous, and you're like scroll to see if we have it, or scroll to see all our styles. Okay, now you're giving me a reason to keep going. Okay, so you definitely do not need to go right to testimonials for a t-shirt. It's like with food. It's like you're selling keto bread and you cut to 3 people going, I love this bread. Wow, so chewy, yum, yum, yum. It's like, who cares, right? Like this is not how you demonstrate the quality of a physical good that you taste or you put on your body. It's not going to be through some random person saying something and giving you 5 stars. You're going to want to show a video, up close photography, high res of the product. You're going to see how naturally it kind of follows your form. Maybe do a really cool, clever comparison video of like someone rubbing their face against a pillow and the shirt material. Like visualize it because it is a visual, real world product. So then you go to 3 product options. Pick a color. So you're forcing me to pick a color as opposed to pick a product type. Maybe you only sell one shirt. That must be why. So the segmentation is purely on color. Okay, that's fine. I think you could make these more appealing images. I would probably put these on 3 model bodies just because so far you've only shown me 1 model photo and I still don't really see how these wear. And like right now, these are just generic t-shirts. And I'm like, there's a million of these on gap.com. Why am I here? Show me something magical and justify the high pricing. Taking care of traditional dress shirts, this is confusing. What? Taking care of traditional dress shirts takes 2 hours a week. Taking care of Dulo takes no time in a year. Okay, so the whole value prop is you save time with the Dulo performance shirt because you don't have to, I guess, iron it. Is that the point? So why aren't you telling me this up front? The magical shirt that doesn't need ironing and looks gorgeous, period. Boom, there's a value prop. I get it. There's 2 value props, in fact. So why aren't you doing that? Yeah, figure out what makes you awesome. Don't hide it. Don't bury it halfway into a page because this is super powerful. Like surface it earlier and point out the average person saves X many hours. I mean, I don't really understand or believe this number, but I love when you can use numbers to visualize how much time you save, how much money you save. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Do that earlier. Why is Dulo better? This should have come earlier, probably. The order of the page is a bit weird. Okay, so no ironing, no hassle. Peace of mind. Okay, I like that. Make it more, talk to me in human language. Say, and be specific. So say, look good throughout the entire day, period. Oh, okay, I get it. That's what you're trying to say. So just say it. Easy care, wash it, hang it, wear it. How about just say, washes in a normal rinse, period. Okay, I get it. That's specific and obvious. Not a huge fan of sexual puns. Money back guarantee. Type grammatical typo. Now I'm being a pedantic idiot about the grammatical stuff. Anyway, small typo. Okay, get 10% off, and then Instagram social proof. Okay, here's what I'm saying. An amazing product with an amazing value prop with someone who has great product photography, but the order of the homepage is not optimal, particularly because this is your best section on the entire page. It's buried at the bottom with 0 header. When you're selling a physical good that tons of other people have used and love, and you have visual proof in the social influencer community that they use it, that is your most phenomenal asset for showcasing you are a legit product. And in action, it shows how awesome and beautiful the product looks. This is your hero content. These are amazing photos. This is incredible. This is like people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for what you have right here. Do not bury it. That's your hero stuff. So maybe, the iron-free shirt that looks amazing all day, period, and it's unbelievably comfortable. That's your subheader. Okay, I get it. Beautiful. Next, cut to maybe the 3 product selector, maybe, or first show me the social wall. Make these images bigger so I'm not squinting. Don't make a website for ants. And then maybe the 3 product selector. Actually, I guess, yeah, somewhere above the 3 products, maybe squeeze in some of these value props, like 1 or 2 that are really important. Then end with the value prop grid. Then end with the 10% off, maybe something like that. I'm kind of riffing here, and obviously I'm going in. All this is obviously in real time. I'm not saying it's Julian at his intellectual best, but you get. Whoa, that was creepy with my name on there. Cool. Shop shirts. Okay, let's pause there. I'm gonna check the chat, see if we got anything interesting to go through. Well done, by the way. And I do like the intercom or whatever this is, the chat thing. Just don't pop it up in the first 5 microseconds. Like, let me breathe first. Let me learn what it is you are. I don't have questions before I know what it is I'm asking questions about. So like, give me a minute before you pop that thing up. Hey everyone, that marks the end of the Demand Curves webinar. Thank you for listening. And you can go to demandcurve.com to have us train you in growth marketing.